Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I made a question answer tool with AI which has access to more than 700 pages. Yeah, you heard that right. Well, you see, this is only for 700 pages, but in reality, you can make this question answer tool with AI for as many pages as you want, 5,000, 10,000, till 10,000 also you can make. And you see, it is very simple how I made it, but you would not get it anywhere because it is my innovative idea. And you see, there are a lot of websites for that where what happens is they scroll the whole website and then they convert the website into the content. You get the content, but getting the content is not the objective, right? The objective is storing that content and using only that information which is necessary to you. What happens is websites like Firecrawl, they're very good and I have used it in this video. What happens is that Firecrawl scrapes the whole website and scrolls the website, but what is the drawback is that all the sub pages that it scrolls is it gives the output separately for each sub page, and that is why when you want to store it properly, you get it in a JSON format or a markdown format with metadata as well and all the information which you do not need. So when you get these information which you do not need, the LLM misreads the information, the AI misreads the information, and that is why can give you errors when you go through this pathway. However, what I'm going to show you in this video is of 3 steps. First, I'll extract the information. Second, I'll store that information in a vector database. And thirdly, I will program the AI to ask questions from it, from which it can give the answers accurately. And what is special about it again is that it only gets the necessary information from the website and then stores it in a Word document which I can use anywhere, not only in the question answer tool, I can use anywhere. In building voice AI, I can give it as a knowledge base. In voice flow, while building chatbots, I can give it as a knowledge base. And it is very clean. And what is again so exclusive about it is that it is stored in a markdown format, which is the best way that the LLM can interpret any knowledge. So let us get to it. So, yeah, this is my N8N workflow, and I know in the introduction I said some things that may be out of your knowledge because these are all technical terms, but I'm going to explain it to you one by one. First process is extracting the information. For testing purposes, I'm using this RealTooth website, and this RealTooth website has 182 subpages. Yeah, and each subpage has a lot of content, around I think 1,000 words or something. So again, from what you can see that this whole website has a lot of content. And if a normal scroll website, if I put real2.in, it will just scroll only this page, the first page. However, I need the whole website information. For that, I can use Firecrawl, again website, very good website, where it can crawl all of the sub pages. However, what the problem is that I already told you, that it was giving me its output in different columns, so I had to store it separately. And if I wanted to store it in one particular document, it was storing the whole thing in a markdown format, in an .md file or a .json file, and it was storing a lot of unnecessary information as well. So when, first of all, .md file or .json file I could not use everywhere, and second of all, it was giving me a lot of information that I do not want, and that is why the AI could not interpret all the information clearly as well. That is why I made this particular extracting tool. This agent, what happens is when I click the text workflow, now this is not the N8N web browser, this is I have self-hosted this N8N. This is a whole different technical process, and I have downloaded this community node in N8N. In the web N8N, Firecrawl is not there. However, I downloaded it from the community server, and that is why I can get it in the self-hosted version of the N8N. So this Firecrawl community node, what happens is it maps a website and gets all the URL of its subpages. So I put in the URL of real2.in, and you can see that over here it gives me all the links of all the web pages here. And you see there are a lot, 180, 182, because the first is 0. So 182 links, and we get the links in only one item. Now what problem I was facing it that it could not read one item separately, right? Because it is one item. So I use this split out tool which converts all this one item, this links, fields to spit out links, into 182 items, where this AI agent can read 182 items separately, one by one. And the prompt for this AI agent is that use the link provided to you, only one link because one item at a time, to scrape its web page and use the get info tool. I'll tell you about the get info tool in just a sec. This is the link and this is the system message again. And now I use this Grok model because it is free for me, because I'm using open source models here, and I use this Llama for my new model. And this model passes in the information to this get info sub workflow. I'll just share it to you. And what is this workflow is that for each item this workflow works, and for each item again uses a fire crawl tool. It scrapes a URL and get its content. This is the URL which I'm parsing in. This is the URL again that the fire crawl, the last community node, extracted, and then I used the split out tool to convert this one item to 182 items. This is one of that item. So for example, this is the example link, and again I have put in that I want the format in Markdown. And what happens is the firecrawl gives me the whole thing in Markdown, and I'll just show it to you though. This is the Markdown format of the whole content which is there, and this is the metadata. Now you see metadata contains title, viewport, description of that favicon, language, keywords, and all the things that you do not need when you scrape a website. You can use this title and description, but the rest of the things I don't think you need. While this gave me a very structured output, if I would have used just HTTPS request, what error would I have faced? Not an error actually, but what problem I would have faced is that it would have given me whole raw website content. I do not need that. I need it in a very structured way, and that is why I went through this format. This firecrawl gives me this information in various parts, and then I use this Google Docs tool. I have the Google Docs account in mind, and then I created a document in which this is the text. This is very intelligently formatted, not to brag myself, but see, this is the first thing which it comes for each item. For each item it is doing. Topic starts, because each item is a particular topic, it is a particular subpage, and this topic starts, and then the title I have extracted from the metadata title, and the keywords, again the metadata keywords. Here it is empty, but in some pages it was there, the metadata keywords, and then the information contained in that web page, and then the topic end, and then the segregation. From this, the AI, when the whole document is ready, what helps me is that from this content AI can read the information very properly, because it is very structured. Topic starts, title, keywords, information, and topic end, and you will see that this whole thing is in Markdown format, because I have used this hashtag sign everywhere and bold also. And well, you'll see that for this link which I just extracted, this is the information which I get. Now what output I'll get is this document ID. I do not need the document ID, so I'll just let it be. I just need the information to be stored in the doc file. And if I show it to you what the information is actually getting stored, this is the information. Topic starts, title, Crowns and Bridges at Mahanagar, Lucknow, Real 2. This is keyword, this is empty, but sometimes it is there. Information, this is the information of the whole web page. And if you see that the whole web page is being extracted in a Markdown format again. So this Markdown format is what I am getting as the information. And it is very nicely structured. Pointers and the whole thing in Markdown. And this is for one page. And after that, it is saying topic end and this. Now you see there are some links here also, but it is fine. Some are fine because I'm getting the telephone number as well, and some things which can be asked by the user, like the telephone number, the address, and something which are important. So yeah, and this is again inputting one item to this parent workflow, and you see the AI agent works 182 times for each item, and this Grok chat model works 380 times, and then it outputs 182 items in the last. But we do not need these 182 items because we already have stored the information in the doc file which we need. So if I show you the doc file at the last, I already executed it because it takes around 40 minutes because a lot of content, right? So this is the whole doc file, and if you see, there are 684 pages here, 684 pages, and if you see, this is structured very nicely, pointers and markdown format, and after each sub page, see, this is one sub page till page 6, so one sub page is approximately 6 pages, so it was 182 pages, you see. So topic starts and new sub page, and it stores it properly. So yeah, I was very happy when I was able to make it, because I can use it anywhere I want in a very structured format, and the AI can effectively answer. Now I have stored this whole information in this vector database, this Pinecone vector database. This is again a type of vector database. Any vector database would be fine, and if you see that this is how it stores it, it gives me the ID, block type, source, but what is most important to us is this text. So this whole document, as you know, contained around 700 pages, and to store and to answer that 700 pages in one go is very difficult for the AI. That is why vector database exists, because it divides the whole document into small chunks of around 400 to 500 words, and each chunk like this contains this text, which is a part of the whole document. And I'll just show it to you. I have 2870 chunks in which the whole document of around 700 pages was divided. And when I'll ask the AI the question, what will happen is, it will not give the whole document as an input. No, it will just give 5 to 10 chunks which are relevant to that information of the question which I asked for. So yeah, this is called what is called RAG, retrieved augmented generation, which is a very interesting thing, because this is how our mind also works. We see a lot of things every day, we store a lot of information in our brains, but when someone asks us about a particular information, we do not give them the whole information. We look for our brain in regards to that information which was asked us, and then we answer, right? This is the way the AI works. And I'll just the Pinecone vector database, I have stored it in the namespace of web info, and where I can use it is, this is the sample use case of this vector data store. For example, I'm building a chatbot for WhatsApp, and in WhatsApp, what I can do is that I have connected this AI agent, which it can use one of the two tools. This Pinecone vector data store, where it can directly search in the Pinecone vector data store, or through and answer questions with the vector data. This node already exists in n8n, and I can limit the responses to 10 chunks, which it can pass in and only answer from 10 chunks. This is the vector data store connected to that answer tool. So you can use any one of the following. What is the difference between them? There is not very much difference between them. It is just that this answer questions tool gives a little bit more structured and formatted response in respect to the question which you asked the LLM. And this vector data store will just give the whole information, the whole 5 chunks, which is relevant to that. So not very much difference. It varies according to use cases. For example, I'll just tell it to you. I was using it for a particular program. I'll share it to you also in the next few videos. And what happened was that when I was using the answer questions tool, it was giving me no answer. However, when I used the Pinecone vector data store, it was giving me 5 chunks. Because sometimes it cannot understand the whole intent behind the query, and that is why this answer questions tool sometimes does not work. So yeah, so we covered the whole 3 things: extraction, storing, and then answering from the vector data store. This is actually pretty great, and this is not something which I can use it just right away, because this is a tool. I made a tool, and this tool I can use anywhere when I'm doing anything related to real tools work, or I want to create a search and answer tool. So anything like that, I can create it for any website, any document. And this I created for a website because website scrolling is a little bit difficult. However, any type of documents, for example, I need to store a book of which has 1,000 pages. So 1,000 pages book is a lot of content. I can store it, and the AI can answer effectively. And each and every question which you'll ask, it will get it right. So this is actually very wonderful. This was it for today's video. I hope you liked the content which I just shared in the video. Please share in the comment section below if you like any other type of AI works or any other type of workflow which I can make. I'll be very happy to do so. And if you need me to build it for you as well, you can contact me on shivanshanand0110@gmail.com. The email ID is on your screen. And also share in the comment section below if you have any feedbacks for this video. Thank you and have a wealthy life ahead.